Hi, everybody. I am John Bard, managing editor of Children's Book Insider, the newsletter for children's writers. I'm also fighting bookworm in chief at the CBI Clubhouse, cbiclubhouse.com, the new children's writers community. Today, we're going to talk about writing children's books, a crash course in submitting a manuscript. While the submissions process may feel like second nature to experienced writers, it's easy to forget that newcomers aren't aware of the specific procedures. And since everyone can benefit from a refresher course now and then, here's a rundown of the steps. First, collect addresses of appropriate publishers by perusing market guides like Children's Writers and Illustrators Market, industry newsletters such as our very own Children's Book Insider, and looking through similar books at the store or library. Then, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the publisher asking for writer's guidelines. You can also often find writer's guidelines at the websites of publishers. And you might want to start this process even if you're still writing your book, as it may take a few weeks to receive a response if you're doing it by mail. Review the guidelines carefully to make sure your manuscript fits with what the publisher is looking for. Most publishers want to see the entire manuscript if and only if you're sending a picture book manuscript. If that's the case, type your manuscript on white paper, double-spaced, indenting at the beginning of each paragraph. Use at least 1-inch margins on each side and justify the left margin only. Put your name and title of the book at the top of each page and number the pages consecutively. Your name, address, phone number, and email should appear in the upper left-hand corner of the first page. Center the title of the manuscript about a third of the way down page 1, skip a line, and then start to the text. Don't break the text up into pages as it would appear in a finished picture book, and don't include illustrations unless you're a professional artist, in which case send a black and white dummy with a sketch of each illustration and 2 to 3 copies of finished color illustrations along with the typed manuscript. Send a brief cover letter stating the title, intended age group, the word count of the story. Add any previous publishing experience and memberships to writing organizations. If you don't have such experience, that's okay, just leave that section out. Mention if this happens to be a simultaneous submission, that is, you're sending the manuscript to several publishers at once. It's a good idea to let publishers know that you're doing that if you are. Also include a self-addressed stamped envelope with enough postage to return the manuscript if necessary. For longer fiction, publishers often want a query letter and sample chapters. The query starts out with the same basic information as the cover letter mentioned before, but also includes a brief synopsis of the plot. Try to write the query in the same style as the manuscript, and include information on the main characters, the conflict, and the resolution of the plot. Add your publishing experience, and tell the editor you can send the entire manuscript if he or she is interested. Ideally, the entire query letter will fit on 1 page. Send it along with the first 2 chapters of the manuscript and a self-addressed stamped envelope. For longer nonfiction, a book proposal is generally requested. This gives a brief overview of the book, 1 or 2 paragraphs describing the tone and slant of the information, and a chapter-by-chapter outline, with a sentence or 2 listing the information covered in each chapter. Attach the first 2 chapters, if it's requested in the writer's guidelines, and also a bibliography of your resources. In your cover letter, list the target audience, the estimated length of the finished manuscript, why your book is different from others on the market on the same subject, and tell a little bit about your expertise on the topic. Again, send it with a self-addressed stamped envelope. Nonfiction picture book publishers may require a query, in which case you'd outline the book in 1 or 2 paragraphs and also include the information from the nonfiction cover letter just talked about. Or they might want to see the entire manuscript. If sending the whole manuscript, attach a brief cover letter, same as with the fiction picture book, but also mention how your book fits with the current market and list your credentials on the topic. Following the proper submissions procedures gets easier with practice and ensures that your manuscript will get a serious look. Take the time to give each editor exactly what he or she wants, and your work will get close consideration. If you'd like more information about writing for children, Please visit us at the CBI Clubhouse at cbiclubhouse.com and come hang with the fightin' bookworms. See you next time.